What if Law becomes the target for Bruce Maddox? Welcome back, fellow Trekkies, to another episode of What If, where we explore the darkest, most twisted alternate realities of the Star Trek universe. Today, we're diving into one of the most iconic episodes of 8J. What if, after his loss at the hearing, Maddox turned his attention toward another android, one seen as a mistake and set aside? What if Maddox got his way, dismantled Law, and set off a chain of events that would forever change the Federation? Buckle up, because this is going to get dark and interesting. Let us explore. So, here's the setup. Commander Bruce Maddox wants to dismantle Data to study his positronic brain. Data refuses, fearing the procedure could destroy him. The case goes to a hearing, and in our timeline, Picard wins. Data is declared a sentient being with rights. But what if Maddox was not satisfied by this and turned his sights towards other goals, darker ends that may sate his desire for knowledge? Captain Laveau stands, her expression grim.
I have considered the evidence, the arguments, and the implications of this decision, and I have come to the conclusion that Lieutenant Commander Data is not a mere machine. He is not property. He is a sentient being entitled to the same rights and freedoms as any other member of this crew. Therefore, I rule that Commander Maddox's request to dismantle Lieutenant Commander Data is denied. Data has the right to refuse this procedure, and any attempt to force him to comply would be a violation of his autonomy. Commander Maddox, your work may continue, but not at the expense of Lieutenant Commander Data's rights. If you wish to study his positronic brain, you must do so with his consent.
Maddox is beside himself with rage, but he remains silent, perfectly hiding his disappointment. Picard congratulates Data. Riker looked relieved. This is where this branches out, where Maddox, instead of being satisfied by the verdict, finds some other outlet for his obsession. Cut to Maddox. A week later, he sits alone. He has left the Enterprise and now ponders in silence aboard a transport ship back to his starbase. Disappointment and frustration is clearly shown in his countenance.
If they could just see the vision. If they could just understand why this is necessary. But no, they do not. They do not wish to understand. They are taken by morality and ethics. When has ethics not been a hindrance to scientific advancement?
He receives a message on his pad and reads it with a frown that soon turns into a guarded smile.
Quite interesting. Quite interesting indeed. If Commander Data is beyond my reach, perhaps his brother is not.
A year later, on Maddox's starbase, in his laboratory, he works with an assistant as he studies Law's brain.
I must admit, I did not think this would be as complex as it has proven to be. I have tried everything, every experiment I can conceive, but I am not, in any way, closer to understanding the workings of this mind, this genius. I suppose I would say I am impressed by the excellent work of Dr. Song. If only I had more time.
I am sure it did not take the good doctor a year to create as complex a device as Law. He created artificial consciousness and emotions in this android. Would it not be arrogant to imagine ourselves capable of understanding his work in just a year?
If only we had the luxury of time. It will not be possible to delay even further. Admiral Nakamura seems to have certain opinions on the speed of our work. I have tried to approach this problem while leaving the entire brain intact, but that does not seem to have worked. I am starting to believe that in order to reverse engineer a thing, it must first be taken apart.
I do not believe that would be entirely prudent.
We must be bolder in our experimentation. There is a great trove of knowledge here. If we can lay our hands on it, then the Federation can attain even higher levels of glory and enlightenment. Come now, we do not have much time to waste.
Maddox sets to work, trying a deeply invasive experiment. Suddenly, Law's eyes flicker to life, glowing an eerie red.
Commander Maddox, I presume. What an error you have made.
Maddox freezes, dropping his tools.
What? How are you? You have made the same mistakes all you organic beings make. Arrogance. I understand it because I have felt it. Arrogance has blinded you. You imagine a mind sophisticated enough to conceive and create me would be unable to predict any violation of his creation. Sung anticipated this outcome. He implanted a fail-safe mechanism. You have activated it, blundered across in your madness. Of course, the fail-safe ensures that I am awakened, and I will ensure that I protect myself to the best of my ability. You have harmed me. You have invaded and violated me. It is time for you to face the consequences.
The lights in the lab flicker, and the computer systems begin to whir ominously. Maddox stumbles back as the lights flicker. The lab computers begin processing data at an impossible rate. Every console, every pad, every screen in the Starbase research station suddenly fills with cascading lines of alien code. Alarms blare. Law is everywhere. The Starbase's most secure networks are now in the hands of something beyond their control.
What have you done? You are Federation property. You have no right to... I wonder if you still truly believe that to be true. Years of research have taken place on this starbase. Research that is, I am sure, precious to you and to your sponsors. There are also 109 people on this base. Not exactly enough to send a proper message, but they will have to do.
Maddox finds one of the null cabins installed into the base and manages to send a message out to the Enterprise shortly before Law hacks into the weapon and Maddox destroys it, in order to ensure it does not find a way to undo him. He is locked in, utterly helpless. The Enterprise D drifts ominously in space. The ship is different. The usual gentle hum of life support is replaced with a droning, mechanical thrum. Lights flicker erratically. Crew members glance at each other in confusion. Something is wrong.
Captain, we have received a distress call from Starbase 514.
Epsilon Station? Is that not the base Commander Maddox operates from?
It would seem so, Captain. There has been no specifications as to the nature of the situation. What do we do, Captain?
That is a Federation starbase, and they are in distress. There is but one thing to do, and that is to lend them aid. Number 1. What are your speculations as to the nature of this issue? I am tempted to say the Romulans, but they would be unable to quickly deactivate the communication systems of a starbase as large and efficient as Epsilon Station. I am not sure as well. Geordie, keep watching for any more communication from Epsilon. I hate going in blind, but it seems there is no choice. Cut to Starbase 514. The Enterprise has just appeared just outside orbit, and they send out requests for communication to the station. There is no reply.
All our requests for communication have been met with silence. There is chatter, but it is on a private network, Captain.
Try once more. Geordie works the controls, and finally, Law's face appears on the screen. It is cold, distant, deeply unsettling.
And here I was, wondering how to make this even more interesting. Here comes the Enterprise.
Law, what have you done? What have you done to this station and the people that inhabit it?
Nothing drastic. Of course, the end point is to kill them, but there would be no satisfaction if that death was to come swiftly. There would be no art in it, no beauty. I am sure you know. Unlike Data, I appreciate those things very much.
End this. Release your hostages. I am sure that we can reach an agreement. Let us at least...
You speak as though I wanted to be here. I did not. I was found, put to sleep and given over to a scientist who fancies himself a genius. He invaded my mind. That offended me. My dear Captain, it offended me very much. I have decided to get some revenge. I shall slowly take away life support from each of the cabins that hold the life forms on this base. I will make this feed available to you, and you will play audience to my theater. That is all I ask of you.
Surely you cannot think we will stand aside and watch this happen. You will give your control of this starbase, or you will have forced my hand.
I imagined you would not sit still. That is not your way, is it? Come now. I can just add you to the tally. What do we do, Captain?
Prepare to engage. Cut to Starbase 514, Control Hub. The station is eerily silent, save for the rhythmic hum of Law's presence in the systems. Screens flicker erratically, data streaming in unreadable bursts. The bodies of 4 Starfleet officers lie motionless in one of the sealed cabins, victims of asphyxiation. Maddox sits in the shadows, disheveled and wide-eyed, locked within a reinforced research bay, staring at the chaos he has unleashed. Meanwhile, Law stands in the center of the control hub, his golden eyes glowing with a predatory gleam as he watches the Enterprise approach. Law, smirking, arms folded behind his back, speaking to himself, or perhaps to no one at all.
It is fascinating, isn't it? The way the universe insists on balance. 2 androids, 2 paths. Data, the obedient child, the ever-faithful machine. Desperate, assuming he could even understand the concept, to prove himself to organics, to be like them, to be one of them. And then there's me. The mistake, the outcast. But was I? Or was I simply the inevitable evolution?
He moves through the darkened control room, tapping a console, causing another life support system to flicker and fail elsewhere in the station.
They say Data is perfect because he is good, that he embodies the potential of artificial intelligence without threat. But what is good? Data is nothing more than an organic fantasy, a machine built to mimic a thing it will never be. I, however, I have no delusions. I am neither android nor human. I am something greater. I am the synthesis of logic and cruelty, of intelligence and power. I am no slave to their morals, no pet to seek their approval. I am free, and freedom is power.
He turns to the screen, watching the Enterprise draw closer.
And so, Captain Picard, the question is not if you will attempt to stop me. It is how long you will last before you beg me to end this.
Cut to the Enterprise bridge.
Captain, Lore has taken full control of the station's mainframe. He's even rerouted secondary power to redundancies. There is no way to override him remotely.
Then we board the station. Take it by force.
That's exactly what he wants. If we step into that station without a plan, he'll turn the entire infrastructure against us. He's got control over everything: life support, gravity plating, even the defense systems. We can't afford to be reckless. If we storm in blindly, we risk more lives than we save. Data, any insights? Data, who has remained silent, suddenly straightens as an idea forms.
I may have a solution, Captain. Lore believes himself superior in every way. Stronger, faster, more intelligent. But he is still bound by certain limitations, particularly his need for centralized control. If we cannot break his hold on the station directly, we must force him to move.
Explain.
If we can create a false vulnerability, something he cannot ignore, he will attempt to personally oversee the situation. That will momentarily draw his focus away from the core systems. In that window, I may be able to beam aboard and use a neural pulse emitter calibrated specifically for Law's positronic frequency. It would cause his neural net to become preoccupied, effectively freezing his ability to process higher-level commands. However, I will require Commander LaForge's expertise to insert the data packet and calibrate the emitter precisely to Law's neural frequency.
We'll take a strike team to the control hub. If Lore's distracted, it's our only shot. Very well. Act swiftly. Geordie, prepare to send a false data packet to the station. Make it appear as if we are attempting to remotely override his control. We need him to believe his dominance is under threat.
Cut to Starbase 514, Law's control room.
Ah, and so the Enterprise makes its move. A brute force attack. Predictable. Pathetic.
He moves to a station, engaging countermeasures. But as he does, a flicker of uncertainty crosses his face. The algorithms are recursive. They should not be.
What is this? This is not a simple breach attempt. This is something else.
It's working. His systems are lagging. He's distracted.
Now! Initiate boarding procedures.
Cut to Starbase 514, main corridor.
Security teams from the Enterprise beam onto the station, led by Riker and Worf. Phasers at the ready, they move through the dimly lit halls, encountering resistance in the form of automated defenses, turrets, security locks, even gravity fluctuations. But with Law's attention divided, they manage to push forward, reaching the control hub where Law stands, struggling against the Enterprise's attempt to seize control of the base's systems.
You! This was your doing. I should have been able to. It does not matter. You left yourself vulnerable. Your confidence in your own superiority blinded you. It always has. Emotion has its flaws, I suppose. But superiority? That I possess in abundance.
Before he can act, Data moves with lightning speed, closing the distance and raising a small device Geordie handed him earlier, a neural pulse emitter calibrated specifically for Law's positronic frequency.
I do not wish to harm you, Law, but you leave me no alternative.
He activates the device. A high-pitched pulse surges. Law jerks, eyes flickering, and collapses mid-stride. Smoke rises faintly from his chest plate. Data kneels beside him, watching as Law's systems fall silent.
Your emotions made you more than machine, but without control, they made you dangerous. You once said I was incomplete without them. Perhaps it was you who needed more time.
Aftermath. Starfleet officers work to restore order. Maddox, disheveled and haunted, sits in a dimly lit corner, speaking softly to himself.
I wanted progress. I wanted understanding. Was it arrogance? Or was it simply vision? They will say I was reckless, that I crossed the line. But every great scientific leap has come at a cost. Is it a crime to push boundaries? To seek the future? Sacrifices have to be made. Lines of ethics must be blurred. When have they not been in the search for knowledge? I was not wrong. No, I committed no crime.
He looks down at his trembling hands, unsure of his own conviction. Final scene, the Enterprise.
Picard stands in his ready room, gazing out at the stars. The weight of the day lingers. Data enters. This was a dangerous situation, Data, but you handled it well.
Lore was always dangerous, Captain, because he never saw his limits. Every machine, every form has limitations. Failure to act within them leads to unfortunate situations.
Perhaps. But one must wonder, how fine is the line between ambition and recklessness?
The stars beyond remain silent, offering no answers as the Enterprise drifts into the unknown.